Guys, Malika here from Malika Semper Astrology, and leading into this weekend, towards the end of this week, we have our Sun in Virgo opposing Neptune in Pisces. And so how we feel this down here on Earth is we're having the influence of Neptune on the way we move about our days. We're going to feel this more, we're going to feel this building more towards the end of the week and especially into the weekend. It will actually peak Friday. Let me look at the date. Friday, September 20th at 5:17 p.m. Pacific. So the way we can work with this Neptunian energy, it is a week for the dreamer, for the visionary, for the creative. It's everything that has to do with the world which we cannot see. So it's a beautiful time to really drop into your spiritual practices. In fact, spiritual practices are really going to be the medicine for this because it is an opposition. So there is a little bit of figuring out how to be comfortable with this Neptunian energy, how to dance with it comfortably. So Neptune comes in and says, this is not a great weekend for appointments and getting things done on the list and paying your bills and doing all these earthly things that we sort of have to do as human beings, right? But this particular weekend, where you're going to be more in the flow, is if you're dropping into your creativity, if you're dropping into your spiritual practices, if you're paying more attention to your inner world, your personal world, your introspective energetic that you carry. Okay. Because when we're trying to do the earthly thing, when we're trying to be on time, when we're trying to pay the bill, when we're trying to hit our goals and do all these earthly tasks, it's a little bit wonky. It's a little bit harder this weekend. But when we're more flowing, when we're more in this mutable energy, when we are going with the flow and we're not rigidly stuck to the plan and the goal, when we allow other opinions to come in and we allow a shift in plans, all of that can happen this weekend towards the end of the week, then it's going to be easier for us to move through this opposition from Neptune. This is also a time where boundaries are going to be a lot of work. We can feel like we are at everyone else's mercy. We can feel like we are being taken advantage of for our kindness, for our love, for the way we show up and give to others. If we're not careful, this opposition can be really exhausting. Picture a bucket with holes in it. That's sort of what this is if you're not taking care of yourself and if you're not respecting your own boundaries. Because there can be a flavor of exhaustion with this or feeling drained, especially if you're just this wide open vessel walking around and giving and giving and giving, and people taking and taking and taking. We want those boundaries. We want to check in with ourselves and ask, do I have time for this? Do I have energy for this? Do I have a desire to show up for this? And if the answer is no, then put up those boundaries. Because when you say no to others with a Neptune opposition, you're oftentimes saying yes to yourself. It's a great weekend, end of the week for a lot of rest. It's a great weekend to really drop into the practices of art, whatever that is for you. Getting getting your paints out, getting your crayons out, working with clay, writing stories, writing fantasy stories, being the storyteller, anything where you pull from your creative visions. That is what comes to life this weekend. So if we can work with this, we're good. We will feel a little bit more sensitive. We will feel a little bit more vulnerable. Some of us might find the release of tears to feel like medicine and really needed this weekend as well. So go with those feelings as Neptune opposes the sun. Thanks for listening, you guys, and I will be back next week.